So my name's Ryan Hagel. I'm the owner and I'll call it build coordinator for this 1941 WC26. So it's a weapons carrier Army vehicle. So I'll tell a quick story because everyone always asks me where did I get this vehicle, because it's very rare. You know, these WC26s. So the 26 represents a half ton. So there are very few of these WC26s registered in the United States right now, and let alone ones that are driving on the road. It's said that I am the fourth owner of this vehicle. The first owner was actually the United States Army. The second owner was a general in the Army that actually bought it from the U.S. Army. And then the third owner is who I bought it from. He owned it for roughly 30 years, and he was like the original overlander before overlanding was cool or even a thing. You know, when you want to talk about custom and what was custom done for this vehicle, I can pretty much say everything, because this is 1941. There's not much that on the body side of it was available out there. Now, putting it on a 2005 frame, we were able to work in, that BDS suspension and some stuff down on the frame side, but from the front bumper to the rear bumper, they're all custom built. Even the front grille, it's an original looking front grille, but I had it completely rebuilt because after we media blasted it and dipped it, it just had enough pits into it where I wanted it nice and perfect. So front grille and original configuration was rebuilt. We put a Warren 12,000 pound winch in that front bumper, some really cool monster hooks, to go with the theme of the vehicle being a big burly vehicle. So we had to go with big monster hooks. The lighting onto it, front to back, we custom rear tail lights that we had, that I had hand built with LEDs in it. The front lights are original looking, but they are all LED, so super efficient, super bright. So the donor vehicle is a 2005 Ram 2500, right? It's got the right motor, it's got that 5.9 24 valve Cummins, which I really wanted. It's got great axles underneath it. The motor was in good shape, had under 50,000 miles on it, which these motors, if kept right, can go 200,000-300,000 miles, no problem. So we took the Powerwagon body off the original frame, had it completely media blasted to get any of the old paint off of it, or find the rust spots, which were very few, but there were some that we had to address. So we patched and touched up all the rust spots, took off anything that we didn't want on it, some interior panels, and just items that were a little bit old and kind of outdated. And then after we media blasted it, we completely coated it, coated it, and then that was kind of the base of the body. Now the frame, we had to build new body mounts, and then after we figured out where the body was going to sit, we actually had to chop and section the frame about 18 inches. So then after we did that, the frame was completely sanded down, new drive shafts done just because of the cut and section into the frame. And at that point it was like, any wire, any tubes, any hoses that needed to be done, completely redone. It is a nut and bolt restoration from top to bottom. The motor wasn't taken off the chassis, but it was fully gone through. On the passenger side, they used to put a spare tire right next to the door, right on the running board. We'll go in with these Milestar 40s, and I actually ran 42s on it as well. I couldn't really put a 40-inch tire mounted to this body, so we covered that up, patched it in, and made it really nice and inconspicuous. There's a couple little pieces on the rocker panel too that we kind of grafted in, a different looking rocker panel. I wanted a paint that was period, I won't call it period correct, but a 1941 vehicle and where we're at today, it's not going to be in pristine condition like it just rolled off the factory. So spent a lot of time with the painter thinking about what we were going to do to this vehicle. I've done many rust paint jobs in the past on some vehicles, but this one I wanted a little bit different. I didn't want it to look like every hot rod or rat rod out there. I wanted it to be different. So I think the painter did a perfect job on this vehicle. I mean, The touch, the finish, the texture, the feel of this vehicle is just unique in every way. And then on top of that, the procedure that they did to do the paint, you know, you see a lot of nice little airbrush features that kind of highlight some drips. I wanted to tie some of that exterior paint that we have into the interior as well. I kind of like, you know, mixing up what's on the outside into the inside. So, you know, on top of the beautiful carpet that was put in, the nice side panels that are all aluminum. Not only are the side panels as well as the roof panels, they're all wrapped in vinyl for the sides, and then the top is a headliner material. But then I did a trim ring around the windows and then around the top sunroof, panoramic sunroof, that are metal, and they are painted the exact patina as the outside. From there, you know, I wanted 4 bucket seats in there. I want a nice interior. I want it to be nice and quiet and smooth inside when we're driving. So the thing is, you know, very, very nice on the inside. And the other reason for that was just the insulation, you know, different motor in there, different doghouse had to be built. So it is, you know, 2 ACs were put into it because I want to be able to, you know, in the St. George heat that we have in the summer, I want to be able to hang beef in that thing. So 2 full-size ACs, 1 in the front, 1 in the back. So I didn't want a rag top on there. So what else could we do to make the roof a lot nicer? So we went out and found a BMW X7 panoramic sunroof, fully operational. So, you know, the back pops up and then the whole thing also slides back. So we grafted that into it. And then from there, we just, you know, all the creature comforts, you know, nice TMI, you know, hot rod seats in the front, buckets that slide and recline. In the rear, it's a bench, but they individually recline. Really nice big padding. The inside, the front dash was all done, and we tried to do it really nice and clean. So I didn't put the stock gauges back in. They were really cool gauges, but at the same time, I wanted it to be a little bit more modern. So we dropped in one of the Autometer LED dashes into it. So it's a really cool when you first turn that key and all the gauges pop up, and you know how clean it was put in the dash next to all the other billet parts. So to continue on the creature comfort side, you know, I had to have some stereo in there, right? Everyone likes a nice little bump and bass and some nice tunes. So we didn't put a traditional like head unit in. We did a nice, really cool Bluetooth piece that you can pair to your phone. But then MB Quart hooked us up with an awesome set. We've got 3 sets of separates, front, mid, and rear. We've got a 10-inch sub that everything's powered by 3 MB Quart amplifiers, so the thing pumps pretty good. In the rear, what we did is we highlighted the amplifiers in a custom-built box, as well as their 10-inch subwoofer from MB Quart. And also in that box, we took the Restomod air system and put that back there with vents. So again, the rear's got a completely separate system, AC and heat system, than the front does, just because there is a lot of room back there. So it's a really cool piece to be able to, you know, haul people around in, because the rear is almost a limo size. You know, I'm 6'3", and when I sit in that rear bench, you know, I can fully put my legs out and kick back and enjoy the ride on this. One of the best lighting companies, you know, Baja Designs, we have their really cool, you know, switchable lights that are on the inside. So LED, a nice bright white light that kind of comes out through it. So one piece I was very adamant about keeping was the functionality of the front windshield that pops out. It was functional when we bought it, but at the same time, when we took everything off it, media blasted it, dipped it, and tried to put everything back on, the front brackets just weren't strong enough in original condition. Luckily, we were able to find, because there are some Powerwagon restores out there, we were able to find the brackets that we needed. We got a new windshield frame and everything, and we're able to put glass into it, which was not an easy task. But in true form of calling it Benjamin, it was not cheap to do, but it was something that it was very, very important for me to keep on. So I love rolling that sunroof back, putting those windows down and popping that front windshield out and just cruising around the streets. It's a really neat feature that I think is one of the highlights of this WC26, especially, you know, in the restored condition. So to kind of beef up the chassis and you know, after we cut and sectioned it and did all the cleaning of it, we went to BDS and got a really nice suspension for them. It's a short arm kit. It's got their Fox coilovers up front, nice shocks in the rear, so that kind of made the ride really nice. You know, running with these Milestar 40 and 42 inch tires, what we had to do is, you know, to not lose all the power and get up and go, is we went to Yukon Gear and got all new gearing. So it's got 513 gearing in it. So it's, you know, whether you're towing, hauling, or just hauling ass, you know, that gearing really keeps it back into kind of stock condition, no matter what size tire that you're going to run with it. And then we put some BD diesel diff covers on it to nice clean that up a little bit. So knowing that I wanted to tow and haul with this as well as go on long road trips, you know, the stock tank configuration had to get removed. It was on the frame rail, and when we had to cut and section the frame 18 inches, we had to pretty much build a whole new fuel cell. So we put a nice big 40-gallon aluminum fuel cell, FASS fuel delivery system is in line with that. So, you know, we didn't do a lot of performance upgrades to this vehicle as far as the engine was concerned, but where it needed some improvement, we put the time and effort into doing it there. The other thing that we did with this to kind of help the motor out, breathe a little bit better, is there's a Canon air filter, and then pushing that air out is a custom Dynamax exhaust. It's a nice 4-inch exhaust that's all ceramic coated. The LED underneath, you know, to add a little bit of the fun, kind of like the stereo, you've got to have a little bit of fun to it. So it's got fender well LED lights, it's got rock rail lights. Sometimes I build vehicles just for SEMA, but this one was built for me. This one was built for my wife and I and our dogs to be able to get in, go on long road trips, tow a boat or whatever behind it, and enjoy. So it was in the SEMA show, the 2021 SEMA show with Milestar, the Milestar tires that you see on it. We introduced their new 42-inch Patagonia MT. But again, I did not build Benjamin to be in a show vehicle. I built it to drive. If what you're looking for is a one-of-a-kind, unique vehicle, this 1941 WC26 Dodge Powerwagon is the vehicle for you. You will never see another one of these on the road or at any show that you go to.